I'm going to show you guys how to do the spindle system here. Homemade spindle system. The steering system for the wheels here. I already have this installation here, where I put one long metal bar here, square tubing, put a hole here with the 3/8 here, and welded the bar where the tire is gonna be in. And then I made these homemade, they look like little keys, but they're 3/8 hole in here. And I got these metal, looks like long bolts. They're all threaded inside, which fits my my 3-foot long threaded bar. So it's threaded, as you can see, and it fits those in here. What I'm gonna be doing here is I'm gonna be putting this part here, right there. And that's for my steering system, where I can adjust it. And then I'm gonna weld these right through that. I'm gonna be welding right there, so I can adjust my steering system. And then I will have that. I got 4 of these that I homemade myself. So I'll show you guys the next step after that. Okay, here's how this spindle one that I made homemade. I just welded out on there, grind it up a little bit. This thing spins. It's really hot right now, so I can't really spin it, but yeah, it's threaded just like this. So what I just did is welded this part onto there, right there. Exactly what I did right there. Welded that on there, right there, and that's exactly what I did right there. And then I'll show you guys the next step is. Okay, here it is now. That's welded on there. Okay, and we have this part ready to, as you guys can see, it adjusts right there. You can adjust it. So that's my spindle system right there. I'll show you guys what the next part is right now. The next thing to do is once you size the size of the length that you're gonna need on both sides, depending on how wide your steering column is gonna be, like not the steering column, but this part right here. So what I did, I just centered this to the center. As you can see, it's right centered, right there, and I measured from here to there. Just kind of attached them for a minute, and then cut the size, and then you got this, and you're gonna weld that afterwards. And we'll show you guys the next step after we weld this part. Okay. All right. Okay. Here's the one side of the spindle system for the car. This is the side to adjust it that I homemade. Everything I do is homemade. So this is a solid one. This one doesn't move. I have the adjustment here for the steering wheel, where I want to adjust it. If I want to adjust it to the left, to the right, this is where I have here. So I'll see you guys in the next video after this is all attached. Remember, I make everything I do is homemade. Homemade spindle system, homemade go-karts, homemade basketball courts, homemade everything. Thanks. Here we are with the spindle steering system that I just created. There's the adjustment for that. First thing you want to do is attach the steering rod here, and attach it on this side. And then, since you already have the L bracket coming from the steering wheel that will be doing all the movement, you attach this with this screw. Make sure you have a lock washer on there so it doesn't get loose. Put it on there. Once you have it on there, put the other one to the bottom, and make sure that your wheels are straight. Like that one's straight, this one's not straight, so you want to straighten it. You can eye level it, right there. And then if you need to adjust it, just spin it right through where it hits the. Make sure your L bracket here coming from the steering wheel, it's straight and looks about right. So maybe you gotta spin it a few times, make it longer, and there it is. There's the spindle system right there. You guys can tell. Make sure you put a lock washer on the bottom too. I mean, one of these. Kind of hard to do with the camera, while I'm holding the camera and stuff. But I'm gonna do this real quick. Once I have that on there, sorry about that, I'll be right back. Okay, there we go now that we have that on there. Okay, there we have the spindle system. Now we can turn the wheels. You can tell right there. Okay, so there it is, guys. There's the spindle system that I created. If you want comments, questions, please add it to my comments. I'm gonna have to adjust a little bit, straighten a little bit, but the idea is that there it is right there. Turn the wheel right there. Turning both wheels. The spindle system is pretty good. So, homemade spindle system. You can find me anything homemade by Fernando Rodriguez. Fernando Rodriguez homemade basketball court, homemade go-karts, homemade spindle systems, homemade pedals, homemade brake pedals, homemade everything I do is homemade. I rarely order anything online. That takes too long anyways, and it's too expensive. So, see you guys later. Subscribe and like. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys some tips and tricks on a go-kart where you don't have to spend no money, like absolutely almost no money. I mean, nothing ordering online, none of the stuff. Like the steering system you guys see in this go-kart that I created, I did it myself with metal and some long pieces of metal that I used. You guys can see my steering system is pretty cool. I mean, I used almost metal, just metal right there. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but there's my steering system. I already have a video on this, how to do this. So look, it works really good. So now I'm going to show you guys how to do the pedal, the gas pedal, without having to buy one or order online and have to wait for all this. I didn't have to wait in no time. I just went to the metal place and got me all the metal I needed for my steering system and my so I created, like I said, my own spindle system. And now I'm going to show you guys how to do brakes. You know, you don't have to order online and all that stuff. Just get 2 pieces of metal and a spring, maybe a long bolt. You can find these metals here like for 3 feet long, and they're all, you're allowed, you can put wires and nuts on them. They're really long. You can cut them down to the size you want them. That's even better. So I'm going to show you guys how to recreate the gas pedal. Okay, I'm going to do the brake over there. It's going to be exactly like here. Okay, so here we go. Okay, here we are. We're going to recreate this pedal. So what I did is I welded it. I cut me 2 pieces of 4.5. You can pick any size of this kind of metal. I think it's I believe it's 3/8 by 1.5 wide. Okay, and I used a 1x1. I don't have a 1x1 to show you guys right now, but this is what about 1x1 will look like. Okay, and I cut 2 of these pieces together, 4.5, and then I welded them together like this. Okay, so I welded them together like this. See, I welded them, and then I attached a 1x1. And this one's about 3.5 inches. So 3.5. You know, depends on where you're gonna put it at, where it fits your side. This is my gas pedal right here. And I also got some spring. A spring. You can get these springs. You can get them at a hardware store. Just I'll go out there, ask for a spring. So they gave me a spring that I can cut and stretch out these ends and make me a little, you know, curve, kind of curve it a little bit. You can do this with the pliers. So cut yourself about a piece about, depends the size you need, how far your pedal is from your metal. And what I did is I used a bolt. These things are it's a bolt that I put a knot on there. These actually come like 3 foot long that I can cut them down. Okay, so I cut one to the size that I needed, and I put this right here. Okay, so you can tell that's where my swivel is going to be, my swiveling part on that right there on this pedal. And then I have this other piece that I got for I cut it. It's 1.5, 2 inches long, 1.5, something like that. Remember, you can do whatever you want as long as it fits your car. And then this is the part I'm going to weld into the car. So when I weld that, and I remember put a hole in here, whatever size your threaded bolt is, it's the size you're going to put here. And then stick it on there, put a washer here, stick it on there, and there you have it. Okay, this will be welded, for example, the bottom of the rail, and then you will do this when you step on the brake. So that's pretty much how I did my brakes with metal. They're strong. I already showed you guys the picture of how I did it, the video, how my brakes look like, and then your spring can go here into the piece of metal across that you have in your car, and then just whenever you push on it, the spring will bring it right back. This is just your support. So you put bolts on all the sides, and then you tighten up. Use lock watchers. Watch bolts that lock themselves. They got little plastic inside. You guys know what I'm talking about. They're lock bolts. So that's pretty much how I did my brakes, and I'll show you guys when I'm done with this project. Subscribe and like if you want to keep updated, because I am gonna do everything homemade. I'm not gonna order anything on eBay, none of that stuff. I'm gonna do everything homemade and make me a go-kart homemade. I don't have to wait on the internet for some objects to come and wait a week or 3 days, or if you want to pay extra money, get in one day. That's all waste of money. You can do this without having to wait for anything. The only thing you really need is the motor. Okay, I did my steering system with metal and bolts. Okay, and nuts and some welding. So if you've been building a wood cart, you can do the same thing. Just make sure you use bolts and nuts with the wood cart. Thank you very much. Subscribe and like. Okay, now we're here. We're gonna do the seat. As you see right there, that chair right there, it's from a regular school chair, I guess. I cut the legs off. I'll show you guys what it looks like once you cut the legs off. If you got one of these, the legs look like this, which I'm gonna use this as my exhaust pipe eventually. I have the on my motor. It doesn't have an exhaust pipe right there. I don't know if you guys can see or not, but right there, the exhaust pipe was right there. So I'll be doing this out of that little. I'll make a little. I'll cut the leg off so it can breathe. But anyways, the chair looks like this. I welded some. There you go. You guys see it. I welded the tubing. It's called I think it's half-inch tubing or square tube or whatever you want to call that. I'm not a metal guy, and I just know how to weld. It's 1 inch or 3/4. Oh, it's a 3/4. 3/4. So what I did, I measured my area from here to here, and then I want to weld this part first on the chair. This is what it will look like once you welded it. So when I lay it here, then I can weld easier. That's already welded, so I just set it on there, and it'll be done. So you guys see, that's gonna be that part. I can do a little by myself, but anyways, that's the part where the seat comes in, and I'll be recreating the spindle system. I guess I'll be talking to you guys about the spindle system in a little bit.